And criticism at President Trump's nominee to run the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Financial industry groups and Republicans are backing the nominee. Democrats say she's unqualified. The Bureau's Chris Arnold reports.
Republicans say White House Budget Office official Kathy Kraninger has the management experience to run the Bureau. But Democrats, including Senator Heidi Heitkamp, pressed Kraninger on her lack of experience with consumer protection.
Have you ever had oversight or regulated a bank or credit union?
No, Senator, I have not.
Have you had any final decision-making responsibility for enforcing state or federal consumer protection laws?
Senator, again, like many other nominees approaching different positions, I have not had direct experience in that.
Lawmakers expect that Kraninger would continue to make the Bureau a less aggressive watchdog. That's already been happening under a temporary Trump appointee. Chris Arnold, NPR News.
Comcast says it's dropping its bid for the entertainment business of 21st Century Fox. That essentially clears the way for Disney to boost its upcoming streaming service by completing its $71 billion offer for the properties. Comcast had been in a bidding battle with Disney. Stocks lost ground today. The Dow dropped 134 points. The Nasdaq closed down 29 points. You're listening to NPR.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, technologic. Technologic.
Live from studios in Self Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
Technologic.
Pardon me. Well, it is true. We are back on the air once again for a 2-hour dose of the Hey Techie Show. Not dose as in
not
our dose, yeah, but as in a medicated dose of the Hey Techie Show.
We promise we will not overdose you.
Well, you never know.
But one thing we need to, let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah.
You always give me that look when I play this.
Where in the world is
Bruce?
I know where he's at.
We're Bruceless tonight, folks.
Yeah, that happens.
You hear that sound? That's all these radio dials is changing because they don't want to listen just to us two.
Whatever. Yeah, okay.
We miss you, Bruce.
Sure. Of course we do. Well, Guru, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well. Been a busy week, but
yeah,
I'm glad it's Thursday evening so we can talk to all our friends out there in Radio Land about what's on our mind with tech. How about yourself?
I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Okay,
I appreciate it. Had a good vacation.
That's right. You were on vacay last week.
Yes. I for the most part, I detoxed myself from computers, technology.
Hey,
I didn't take anything.
Nothing wrong with that.
I took my phone. Well, I did take an iPad. But I just used it
to cheat with the iPad.
I used it for entertainment purposes only.
Okay. Well, we'll give you a pass.
I don't even think I surfed the web.
I have to say, yeah, I pegged the geek meter here because when I went on my vacation last month, I took my laptop with me. Now, granted, I only pulled it out maybe not while I was on the cruise. I didn't pull it out all while I was on the cruise, but before I left when I was still in Seattle, I think maybe I may have pulled it out that evening before I flew back home. I can't remember. But I had it with me, but it's like I really shouldn't have took it because like I didn't even really it wasn't worth lugging around, but I was like I got to have it, so I took it.
I just decided I didn't want anything.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Really almost didn't take the iPad, and then I thought, well, I may get bored at times.
Netflix.
And I did a couple of times of Netflix, but other than that, well, we hope you all are doing well. Welcome to the Hey Techie Show. And if you would like to be on the show tonight, 256-782-5600. And you can join us on the show with your 2 cents or 10 cents or 30 cents.
As long as Michael's watching for the light to flash. Because
Right.
our phone does not ring.
No, and it shouldn't.
It flashes.
That's right. That's right. It's tended to be silent. But anyway, so the Guru's doing well.
Yep.
Bruce is out, and that's unfortunate. But, hey, it is what it is. We do miss him, as always, and we miss any of us who are out, actually. So, and we kind of hate that because you keep looking at it like it's not working.
Oh, it has 0 level till just now. So sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the first 4 minutes of the show are
That's okay.
not on there. So you'll have to edit that.
That's
post.
okay. That's all right. So, what's been going on with you?
Like I said a minute ago, it's been a busy week.
Yeah, I know that.
I'm glad it's Thursday night, but sitting there thinking we're very close to the high school and elementary school kids getting back to school.
Well, let's not talk about that. Ugh. I'm not.
Well, I can say that because I really don't have kids in school.
I am not
so-
ready for school to be back in session. I can tell you that right now.
Well, it's coming, folks.
Oh yeah,
And this weekend
No, I
is
understand.
in
Tax-
Alabama, at least here for those listening in
That's
Alabama, it's tax-free weekend.
that's right.
It's like school supplies and clothing. I mean, there's a lot of rules to it, but you can not to pay at least Alabama tax, and depending on your locality, you may have to pay county or local tax either.
Right.
Which even if you're not going back to school, if you want to pick up a few things, you can save a few dollars.
That's true.
We just had Prime Day this
Yeah,
week.
and apparently that did a little bit to the internet. It was a little goofy.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody was flocking to
I
Prime
guess.
Day. One of my friends on Facebook that I know for real, not like a Facebook friend, but a real friend, he made a post, on Prime Day, like, I don't see what the big deal with Prime Day. I don't ever see anything I want. And I tend to agree. A lot of the stuff I looked on Prime Day, just kind of perused what was out there. I just didn't see anything that really caught my eye.
Right.
And I know somebody's screaming at the radio right now saying, Guru, what's up with you? They had blah, 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 which that's great and wonderful for you. But I saw nothing that was
Right.
like I had to have.
Right.
But I think it's just it's a gimmick.
Well, sure. I mean, you know. Yeah,
So.
of course it is. Yeah, I don't know about Prime Day. I've admitted on the show I'm not a big Amazon user.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Prime member. Shocking, I know, but just not. So I don't know. I'm not. I know I beat a dead horse on this, but I'm just not a big online shopper. I don't know. It's just one of those
that's where
things.
everything's going, Michael.
I realize
so
this.
You need to step up to the times, buddy.
Right.
Step it up. Because
goodness.
the internet's is about killed off Blockbuster. There's probably some people listen. What's Blockbuster? Well, for those of you who do not know, Blockbuster used to be this huge nationwide company where you actually go to a store to rent movies.
What's
And
Blockbuster?
there used to be something called VHS. That's when they first started renting because you had to be kind and rewind.
That's right.
Then they switched to DVDs, and there's probably some people like, what's a DVD?
Yeah. If it's
Anyway, well, they dwindled down. It was 3 stores. Now it's 1 store. The 2 stores in Alaska recently closed.
not- man.
There is 1 store somewhere in Oregon that's left. And I mean,
Oregon.
there's probably some independently run movie rental stores, probably in some remote areas. But I mean, Blockbuster was this huge brand. And
Right.
it's down to 1 store.
Well, Netflix had disappointing numbers last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did not see that.
They missed their expectations for subscribers.
Oh, that's not good.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know.
especially when you're
We'll just see.
having to answer to investors.
Yeah. Well, that's their problem.
It is their problem.
I mean, I think it could be a lot of things, but I don't know that there's one particular thing. Some people are blaming it on some of their offerings that they brought that sort of people have got aggravated about. Some people Some people are blaming it on the fact that Amazon at times is eating their lunch on some of the things that Amazon is grabbing up that people want to watch. There's some things that you can no longer see on Netflix that you could at one time, but Amazon beat them to the punch.
I was going to say that because there was some television series and things that I enjoyed watching
Yeah.
And they were on Netflix. Like, great. I could watch them. I could sit there and binge watch them or just watch them casually. But then they went away because that license expired or whatever happened, and they didn't choose to pay to keep it going.
And Hulu also, obviously, is a competitor, a smaller competitor, by comparison to the 150 some odd million users
but you're
of
about
Netflix.
Once all this regulatory approval goes through, the Walt Disney Company,
we'll see,
will have a majority stake in it. So
we'll see what they do with it.
But I think there's, between the Netflix deal with the lack of some content, there's a lot of competition out there that's probably taking a little bit here, a little bit there, and those little bits add up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because at one point, Netflix was it. There was maybe a few here and there, but Netflix, owned it.
Right.
But everybody else is getting on the bandwagon. It's competing for us as consumers' dollars because we don't have this unlimited resources. So you pick and choose. You do Amazon Prime.
Sure.
So you get Prime Videos. You may do Netflix and or Hulu. But then you're like, well, I'm spending all this money on all these subscriptions. You may have a Spotify account or an Apple Music account.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of $10 add up. It's like, I'm not gonna keep buying, and or I want to try this one, so I'm gonna drop Netflix because they don't have what I want to watch, and try this other service. So yeah, I mean, and I hate it for Netflix, but you need to listen to your customers. I've told them several times, I'm really disappointed because you don't have these particular shows that you used to carry.
Oh yeah, and some of that too is probably outside Netflix's ability to control too, in a way, because say hold on, a company that owns the product, okay, say whatever show, the production company that still owns it makes deals with, they're going to go with whoever gives them the better deal. So if Amazon gives them more money, I mean, they're going to go with Amazon.
Well, if the deal is an exclusive deal, you don't give it to anybody else,
right?
Because if you're a content creator,
and that's going to be the majority of them.
It depends on the contract.
Well, yeah,
So
anyway, well, when we come back, we'll continue on with our stories. We got tons of stuff. I hope you'll find it interesting. I think you will, so stay tuned or give us a call. Be right back.
We're just getting started. Plenty more Hey Techies Show for your listening pleasure.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment not found in the civilian world. The Army National Guard can get you started in an array of STEM-related career fields such as information technology, communication systems, special forces engineers, technical engineering, air traffic control, and chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear science. Get a head start on your career in an exciting new field while earning money to pay for college, all while serving in your own community. Log on to NationalGuard.com or talk to a recruiter in your area to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The 375,000 acres that make up the 3 ranger districts of Talladega National Forest were purchased by the federal government in 1936 as part of an effort to restore clear-cut timberlands and farmlands no longer capable of producing crops. The beautiful reserve includes the 102-mile Pinhoti National Trail System and Alabama's highest and second highest points, Mount Cheaha and Duggar Mountain.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission.
When a child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K in Alabama. Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Do you have a product, service, event, or just about anything to promote, but you have always assumed it was just too expensive? Then listen up. It's not. Here at WLGS, we have every patron spot available with a pricing plan that is sure to fit any budget. Just think.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show. Guru was trying to put me on the spot here.
Well, you didn't have to start talking. I just was getting
ready.
No,
no, that's not what I meant.
About what I just said during that song.
Yeah. I honestly, I know they're supposed to have a new Surface Book, but
what is that thing? Microsoft we're talking about. So, Andrew, we're talking about your favorite company.
Yeah, I know.
It's the Surface something.
Oh, you're talking about a new Surface product.
Yes.
Not just the Surface Book.
No. Surface Go.
Surface Go.
Meet Surface Go.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed this.
You missed this?
Apparently.
And this is coming from the Apple guy of the show.
But I told you I have been unplugged for more than a week, and when I got back, I've been inundated with work. But that's not an excuse.
So this is from Microsoft's. I just went to Microsoft.com.
Okay.
The Surface Go is perfect for all your daily tasks, giving you laptop performance, tablet portability, and a stunning touchscreen with a power Windows 10 Surface Go signature type cover and Surface Pen separately.
Is that the cheaper model that they're talking about?
I don't know what it replaces, but it has a 10-inch Pixel Sense display, 1800 by 1200 resolution, 3:2 aspect ratio, 10-point multi-touch, and ink. 64 gig or 128 gig solid state drive. Its dimensions is 9.65 inches by 6.9 inches by 0.3 inches.
So this is the less expensive. This is the one that everybody's saying is going to be competing.
Yes, Windows 10 in S mode. What's that?
Yeah, that's that. That's the app only. You know, that's that low.
I wonder if you still upgrade that one.
It's $399.
I want to go to that Microsoft store and check this out. I need to get over there one day. It's a Pentium Gold processor. What? Pentium Gold? Sounds like it's 1990s.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about it. I wish Andrew could tell us more. Memory, 4 gig, 8 gig. It's USB-C. Yeah, it says headphone jack. Shocking. Surface Connect port, Surface top cover port, micro SD card reader. Compatible with Surface Dial, off-screen interaction. Windows Hello, face authentication camera, has a 5-point megapixel front-facing camera, an 8.0 megapixel rear-facing camera, microphone, 2-watt stereo speakers, Intel graphics, blah, 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 blah. Starts at $399. So
there you go.
I mean, price point, it's hard to beat for an opening price point, starting price point.
My only problem,
that's for 64 gig SSD, 4 gigs of RAM.
I shouldn't say.
If you want to do a 128 with 8 gigs of RAM, it's $549.
Oh yeah, it's going to be more.
Yeah.
That's a given.
But for starting out $400, I want to get it in my hands and try it before. I'm curious. I'm going to have to get over there one day. Anyway, So that's what it like popped in my head like as we were coming out of break. So
yeah, well, that's what we try to do here. I mean, I did know they were doing this. I did not realize that it was called the Surface Go.
Yeah,
like I said, I've
1.15 pounds, not including the top cover.
Yeah, that's
so a little over a pound. So very lightweight.
Well, wait a minute. Is it going to include that top cover? It says it is.
It says Surface Go signature top cover and Surface.
Oh, sold separately. There you go.
Yeah, because what's in the box? Surface Go power supply, quick start guide, and safety and warranty documents.
Well, that's fine.
Well, when I bought my Surface, not my Surface Book, my Surface, what I'm running the audio for the show on, the top cover was separate. It didn't include it.
It always has been.
Yeah,
I know that. It's
the only thing you get a keyboard is you buy the Surface Book because it's kind of part of it.
Well, yeah, it's part of it. It's the extra cost.
But I've said this before on the show, I do like the Microsoft hardware. I've really liked it. They're doing something right. I mean, Windows, you can debate that, but the Surface, when I bought it, it's a great device for what I paid for it. The Surface Book, I do like my Surface Book. I've not used the Surface. Was it Surface laptop? Was that that one?
Yes,
had
the Surface laptop
had like the carpet.
Yes,
I did not like the carpet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I've said that many times. Anyway, Surface Go, just in time for back to school.
Oh yeah.
Windows.
And it
Windows
pops
10S.
up while I'm on the website. It pops up. Need help? Chat now? No, I'm not chatty.
Sure, you want to be chatty, Kathy tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Up to 9 hours of battery life, it claims.
Well, cut that in half, 4.5. It's still pretty good though.
Well, I mean, I can't say. The Windows the 10S, we talked about that.
Oh, we
on
have.
The show
we have.
When it first was, came out.
But at the time, you could.
Well, you could upgrade, and I'm not saying.
I wonder if you still can do that without paying like a free.
Oh yeah,
upgrade.
you had to pay. I think it's $49.
I thought it was free. The Surface laptop, it was a free upgrade.
Well, that could be.
I need to ask Andrew. He would know the ins and outs of all that.
It could still be, but I don't. Oh, now see, wait a minute. We skipped something here.
Oh,
or you? I did. I don't know if you did. I may have missed it's $379.05 for eligible students, parents, teachers, and military.
Yeah. Well,
so there is a discount.
There's an education discount, yes, just like Apple
and military discount apparently. So $379.05 for the minimum specs.
Yeah, well, the $399 model,
right?
$379, $30 discount. So yeah, and the military. So bravo to Microsoft for giving our military a discount as well. Thank you.
Yes.
I wonder if Apple does a military discount. I never really.
$550, $521.55.
The lower $500 if you
for the higher 128 gig.
Yeah.
With the discount. So anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, if you're interested in that, check it out. It may be something you might be interested in for school. I will give a caveat here. It does not have a full Windows 10 operating system as such. However, it has a full operating system in that it basically apps from the App Store.
Right.
But you're not going to be able to install. It's more like a tablet based.
If you're
OS.
using it to like surf and there's some app that's on the Windows App Store, you're good.
Yeah.
Outside of that, you may have problem. I would refer to Microsoft for details.
Yeah.
Or if you know somebody named Andrew, ask them because you have a chance it may be the Andrew that's the Microsoft expert of Calhoun County.
Now, here we go.
Well, he is. I mean, if I have my Microsoft question, I always ask him. I mean, hey.
I tell you what, I'm not the Xerox printer expert. I can tell you that.
I thought you're the printer expert, though. That's like all in, like total printer.
Today,
regardless
I
of
tell you
model.
My first experience with Xerox printers did not go well.
Uh-oh.
No. No.
Well, I'm sorry.
Well, it just is what it is. But you know me and printers. I mean, I've said it many times. I'm yeah. Yeah, bring that back on. It is that. Because I can't close my ticket. That's what makes it sad. Yes.
No, I got plenty of tickets, so don't feel bad about that.
I love closing them. It's like a happy dance for me. I'm serious. I can literally do a happy dance in the hallway for closing tickets.
I think anybody in the IT industry is like can do a happy dance when they close
a ticket. Yeah, I mean, there needs to be a happy dance song for closing tickets.
So let me shift gears here
to something very important.
No,
really.
We're talking about the Surface Go. Well, one thing, Apple this last week also announced new hardware.
Right.
Well, not really new, but
updated
hardware. The new MacBook Pros.
I think it was a Yawner actually, but I mean, they got some new specs, but it was like
it wasn't like totally new hardware. I mean, there's been some people commenting as always, but the MacBook. But the MacBook Pros got performance enhancements. I don't know all the specs. I mean, you can go out there and people have been tearing them apart and doing benchmarks. But one thing I want to mention here, I'm trying to get this pulled up because I was not prepared. I know that's a shocker to everybody listening.
You're so funny, man.
But a leak. One thing that apparently people have figured out with these new MacBook Pros is they've done some changes to the keyboards, and we talked about this on the show a few weeks ago about keyboard gate.
Yes,
where the keys were sticking and failing, and Apple basically sort of acknowledged but didn't acknowledge directly because they created this service campaign where if you're experiencing keyboard issues with certain MacBook Pros, you can bring them in regardless of your warranty status, and they will repair it at no charge to you. Well, apparently there's this article from The Verge, leaked Apple service document confirms new MacBook Pro keyboard is designed to fix dust problems. Turns out Apple didn't just want to make the keys quieter. I guess they were touting that maybe as part of their updated hardware. I don't know. But a recently leaked Apple service document obtained by Mac Rumors confirms what many already suspected. The newly introduced silicone membranes discovered by iFixit are underneath the keys.
Right.
That are beneath the keycaps on the new MacBook Pro keyboard aren't just to muffle sound. They're also there as a protective layer to block dust and debris from interfering with the sensitive butterfly mechanism that has proven so problematic for some users. So it's not that they redesigned the keyboard per se. They just added this silicone membrane. Oh, it's to make it quieter. Nah. Well, it does do that. But it also has a side effect, if you will, of blocking stuff from getting to that mechanism that was causing so many problems. So, anyway. But when Apple announced its latest MacBook Pro this week, one of the more notable changes to the hardware was the third-generation version, the much, maligned. I think I'm mispronouncing it. Anyway,
no, that's right.
The butterfly keyboard.
Right. But
Apple insists the only real difference was that the updated models were quieter. But
could be.
Well, they are quieter, but there's also another side effect. But anyway. So that was that. One thing though, I don't have an article about this, but our friend of the show, Akon Sepp, he was on.
Right. Yes.
It's been a while. We need to get him back. We need to get him back on. But anyway, he tweeted the other day. Anyway, I'm sorry. Somebody sent me a text. I was trying to read.
Go ahead.
He's tweeted the other day about these new MacBook Pros. One thing missing from these is, we want to guess. You don't want to.
I don't know.
An SD card slot.
That was what I was going to guess. I should have just shot that out.
No SD card slot. And for this to be a Pro device, it's kind of like, really. I mean, I just don't buy the fact that they didn't have space to stick that piece in. So now, if that's something you need, you're going to have to carry yet some sort of an adapter, USB-C to that, because it's all USB-C, or a USB-C to USB it's just.
It makes me wonder, though. I have to wonder, why did they decide to do this?
I'd like to know, too. I mean, Apple got some splaining
okay,
to
so
do.
we could make some assumptions. We could make some assumptions with this. Sorry about the mic, folks. I'm having a hard time getting to the right place. No, that's annoying, but anyway. So anyway.
Annoying to you, maybe.
It is. But anyway, so I wonder how they would know the usage of that product. How would they know how much it's used and how much whether it's not used?
I have a feeling there's telemetry.
There's got to be some kind of.
There's some telemetry that getting reported.
It may not anonymized telemetry that how many times it's used, how often it's used, what type of cards.
And granted, like I think this.
Yeah, it has one on that.
This Surface Book of mine has an SD card slot.
Right.
My MacBook Air has an SD card slot.
Correct. Right.
Now, granted, I don't use it like daily or even weekly, but there's times when I need it and it's there.
Right. But my theory,
I don't have to worry about having an adapter.
My theory is the only reason I could see them wanting to, well, there's several reasons, but one reason that I could see that they would feel like they were okay to do this is if they felt like they were going to get very little pushback or not enough pushback to warrant the worry about it. I mean, for instance, let's put it this. I know this is not a comparison.
Well, they've upset 50% of the Hey Techies Show cast tonight. At least, maybe.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be a fan of it either. Because I like the slot.
So 100% of who's on the air tonight, and 66.67% of the entire
I'm not going to
cast.
go upset. I wouldn't say upset. I mean, like, okay. I mean, I get it.
Well, I mean, I can deal with it, but I would rather it be built in.
Yeah, I think it's a disappointment that it's not. I think it's just something you expect.
Disappointment. That's very well said.
You expect it. It's just something that you expect on a device.
Expectation, and they failed to meet their expectation.
It's like yeah, I want that car and it has to have tires.
Oh, you don't need tires.
Now I know it's not exactly the same thing, but
it's
I love this car, but it needs electric windows. I mean,
you don't need electric windows.
Well, you don't need them, but it sure would be nice.
Or let me trying to think of a good example. Like, it's a good one. Like, keyless entry. That's been around for years.
Right.
We're used to having most cars come with keyless entry.
Yes, right.
That you buy.
Right.
Oh, you don't need that.
Well,
you can unlock it otherwise.
Well, you could.
But would that be annoying?
Yeah, it would be very. Now that I'm used to the way it works, it would be very annoying.
Yes.
Yeah. So, admittedly, I don't use this feature either. But, however, on occasion, I have had the need to use this feature. And now, if you buy a new one, you're not going to have it unless you have another dongle. And what will that dongle consist of? It will consist of what? A slot to what? USB what?
C.
There you go.
Or you'll have to have an adapter to go from USB-C to USB-A to use your standard USB.
Correct, right.
I say standard as is today because the standard is always changing anyway.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's going to be that would be a small issue, but somebody's going to sell some dongles. But hey, what is it?
Well, Apple will probably sell you one.
I'm sure they've got it all right already right now.
I'm curious.
By the way, the 15-inch MacBook. Just give some highlights here. The 15-inch MacBook Pro will sport a 6-core Intel i7 and Core i9 processors.
Oh, i9.
Yes.
On the 15.
On the 15.
Well, Apple doesn't sell one. They don't sell a Apple branded SD card adapter, but you can buy a SanDisk Extreme Pro SD UHS-2 card USB-C reader and writer for $39.95.
Oh yeah,
just $40.
Yeah,
only $40.
Let's see. It's going to have the Radeon. I always goof that up. Pro discrete graphics, 4 gig.
So the i9. Go back to it's the 15-inch, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I was looking at the 13-inch.
It's a 5 and a 7.
Okay.
Respectively.
Yeah, the 13s, you can get the most units i7.
Yes, that is correct.
For most people,
now the
i5
you can go up to a turbo boost on the. I would assume this is the i9. Let's see, up to 2.9 gigs with turbo boost up to 4.8 gig.
Yeah, I think that's gigahertz. The i9. I think the 7 is like up to 4.0 on turbo. Yeah. It's like a 2.3 or 2.4.
Well, like the i7 would go up to a turbo of 4.5 on the 13-inch.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So it would be probably in the same neighborhood.
You remember the old 486
oh yes
DX2? It ran at 33, but you could hit turbo 66.
Correct, 66.
That's my first real PC. Yeah. It had a 486.
And then there's a 4 terabyte of storage. SSD up to. Up to. Yeah.
Because
and then you got the Apple T2 chip.
Legendary tech podcaster Leo Laporte was talking about this.
Up to a 2 terabyte.
No, he was talking about it was off air, so to speak, but on air. Like he was. I was listening to his radio show.
I know what you're talking about.
I was listening to his radio show this weekend.
It's on the live feed, but
live,
it's not on the radio.
Yeah, he's ordered
during a break.
He ordered one, like he maxed it out.
Oh, I'm sure he can.
Well, of course,
he's a millionaire. That's what millionaires do.
Yeah, but let's see. If you were to max out, like go as max on everything.
I'd love to do that. I would love to do that.
Well, just keep vamping here while I do this.
Well, I am vamping.
Well, keep going.
And then on the 13-inch, you can get up to a 2 terabyte.
Yes.
And then the rest is pretty much the same. Let's see.
All SSDs, obviously.
Yeah. No. It's their famous spinning 5400 drive that they loved to put in their computers years ago. No, it's totally SSD.
Okay. So if you take a 15-inch MacBook Pro Space Gray.
Yes.
You put the 2.9 gigahertz 6-core i9.
Mm-hmm.
You take the RAM from the stock 16 to 32. Because, of course, if you have a 6-core processor,
sure,
you need 32 gigs of RAM.
Absolutely, to take advantage.
And you need like the 512 SSD is not enough, so you've got to bump up the storage to 4 terabytes.
Oh, you need 4 terabytes because you don't have an SD card reader anymore.
Well, so. Just to go from I'll just put it in perspective. To go from 512 to 4 terabytes adds $3,200 to the price.
Oh, that's not a surprise because they found the highest, most expensive SSD storage they could find.
Yes, exactly.
I can guarantee you.
Or
that.
they bought the cheapest and they marked it up like crazy. But anyway. Pre-installed software, we don't need Final. We already got Final Cut probably. Logic. We'll leave the software off. We're just going to talk about hardware.
Right.
So if you max every component out on that 15-inch, $6,699 before tax, and that's before you buy Apple Care Plus, which will add probably another $300 to it. Now, if you want to go smaller,
over $7,000.
If you want to go smaller screen,
13-inch.
Because sometimes you want portability, right?
Right.
I get home, I can plug it up to my huge monitor. So, if you did, I'm trying to touch the wrong thing on here. So, Touch Bar, Touch ID, 13-inch. Take the stock processor of a Core i5, take it to the i7. Take the RAM from 8 to 16, and then take the hard drive. You only get 1 terabyte. Sorry, you can't get 4. But you can go from 256 to 1 terabyte.
What? Whoa, wait.
On the 13-inch.
It says you can get up to a 2. Did you do an i5 or an i7?
i7.
Really?
This is not.
Oh, well, these specs are wrong on this.
Well, this is what on Apple.com.
I believe you.
So doing it that way, $25.99 before Apple Care Plus.
Huh.
But that's still an expensive laptop. Don't get me wrong.
Very.
But I will say this: at work, I use a Mac with some mobile stuff, and that Mac is now pushing 7 years old, and it still works fairly well. I mean, it is long on the tooth, but this is an investment. It's not going to be like you're going to replace in 18 months unless you're like a Leo Laporte and you just have gazillions of dollars. You could buy this and it would last you many, many years. But yeah, it's quite an investment compared to a $399, Surface Go.
But yeah, I mean, just a Surface Go,
But that's almost apples and oranges. You really can't compare those. So I shouldn't have said those in the same sentence.
Well, they're trying to. With the Surface Go, I mean that's really just.
Well, it's just entry
level. Totally entry level,
yeah.
But also they're trying to compete with the lower end iPad that they just put out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I may have picked the wrong one because it says this has got 2 Thunderbolt 2, and I thought it had 4 on the 13, on the higher end 13.
13-inch MacBook Pro, the new one.
Yeah, let me make hang on, just hold please.
We're holding.
We need to say something.
We're
holding. We can't have dead air.
Oh, we can. Shh.
13-inch.
People start listening really closely when you have dead air, and then you talk really loud.
I think I selected the wrong one. Hang on, because this one, the touch. Well, it's their one screen says 4 Thunderbolt 2, and this screen says 2 Thunderbolt 3.
So which is it?
I don't know. like where it shows them lined up, like
right.
The new Touch Bar Touch ID 2.3 gigahertz processor. It says 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, but I go into select, and then it shows 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports.
I wonder if they're skipping to. I wonder if they're taking you to the old one when you go to shop, and they don't have.
Well, if I customize this, like I spec it out, it tells me like pick up August 1st at the local Apple store, or it delivers between July 30th and August 1st. So it's not like I can get it in a couple days. You know, there is a delay,
right?
Because you know,
I don't know. Oh, interesting.
It is interesting, but anyway. Well, that's not the right. It's showing the wrong picture.
Yeah, see, there's
something's wrong with their sides.
Something's up
because I picked the one with the touch bar.
I know what you're talking
the
about.
Screen instead of the.
Well, I think that's the only thing you can get now, isn't it?
No, you still the 13-inch. You can get it in. With the top row of regular keys. Yes.
Well, not according to. Well, then this article's not.
Well, I mean not.
I mean, because it. I say with touch bar.
This is so fascinating. I know, folks.
Okay.
Well, hang on. I may have. Hold on a second.
I think.
I did max it out. I was at the wrong one because there was another one. Hold on a minute. I was wrong. I know.
It is recorded. I'm gonna play it back.
You can do 2 terabyte of storage.
Okay, that's what I was wondering because this says that.
This one's $36.99 if you max everything.
There we go. Now we're talking.
2.7 gigahertz Core i7, 16 gigs of RAM.
I mean,
and a 2 terabyte 2 terabyte storage up from 512.
Do you really have a Mac unless you're breaking $3,000? I mean, really, come on. I mean, one would have to wonder.
If this was for me, I'd want the i7 because I do some processor intensive stuff with video occasionally that I could use the horsepower. I would go to 16 gigs of RAM because that kind of works hand in hand with that Core i7. And the thing is, you got to think you can't upgrade these Macs. So I would go ahead if you can. It's $200 to go from 8 gigs 16. I would spend the $200 on the 16.
Yeah, absolutely.
The storage, I would really want 1 terabyte, but that's $400. So it's like, do I really want that, or can I get by with 512? I can live with 512. So that's $24.99 doing that.
Nah,
it's still $2,500.
Max it, baby.
But I'm waiting on the new Mac Pros. I want to see what those are. Not the iMac Pro or not the MacBook Pro, the Mac Pro. Which is currently the trash can model, which they're redesigning.
Right.
Because
I've
done some video editing recently, and buddy, that little MacBook Air is choking.
Is it?
Yes. It still handles it, but it's just choking bad.
Wow. Well, when we get back, we'll move on to something else, I assume. You never know.
We'll try to get off our laptop rat hole.
That's fun. Hey, Techies Show. Be right back.
Classroom, children do all these things, and in the meantime, they discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information, go to children.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
In the late 1960s, NASCAR founder Bill France was hunting for a location for a new racetrack that would rival the size and speed of Daytona. Eventually, he settled on an abandoned airfield near Talladega, Alabama, and started construction on May 23, 1968. Hello, I'm Bobby Allison, NASCAR 1983 Cup champion and four-time winner here at Talladega Superspeedway as it was renamed in 1989. With 33-degree bank turns and 2.66 miles of asphalt, it's the fastest racetrack in the nation. Bill Elliott set the existing NASCAR speed record here in 1987. Every driver that's run at Talladega has had a wild ride or two. My final win here was over Dale Earnhardt by a fraction of a second. You never know who's going to make it the full 500 miles, and that's what makes Talladega one of the most exciting racetracks in the world.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
You're listening to the Hey Techies Show on WLJS Jacksonville.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show.
This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
Who is that? I guess I don't know that part.
It's David Dunn.
David
called
Dunn.
I Want to Go Back.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. There you go. All right.
Real quick here. Hang on, I'm trying to get reset here. Okay. Real quick. Just want to mention this. We'll put this in the show notes.
It's already there.
It's already there. So
HeyTechiesShow.com.
Michael's on top of it.
I'm trying.
It's a Business Insider article, and it's basically, the title, the first reviews of Apple's new MacBook Pro are out, and here's what critics had to say. So go read it at your leisure if you want to learn more about it, if you're in the market.
It also has the specs out there, for the specs that I read earlier.
Yeah, so he was already there. So, especially if you're in the market for a MacBook Pro, it's maybe the time. So just go out and read what people have to say.
Yeah.
And if you're like me and you're waiting on the Mac Pro, just keep waiting.
It may be the time for you to go get a loan.
Maybe. I saw something on Twitter. Somebody had posted something. It was hilarious about the overpricedness of it.
Well, I mean,
but again, with these devices, you can go to if you spend a computer in general. You don't care if it's Mac or Windows or what. You go to the store, whether you go to the big box retailer or you go to some online merchant or whatever, and they have like a $300 or $400 laptop. Chances are 12 months from now or sooner, it's going to be not like it is the day
I
you
realize
take it out.
it's not. You can't compare them.
So it goes back to you get what you pay for, the old cliche term. But
I don't know if $3,000 is. I mean, that's
it is what it is with Apple.
Oh, I agree. But I would say that about any of the products. I wouldn't just be. This is not just about Apple. I'm just saying, a Surface or anything else.
Right.
I mean, $3,000. That's
it's a lot of money. So
yeah.
Anyway, but it's there. So that's that. So moving on, because I felt like the last segment was like an endless string of consciousness from your.
Oh no, but really, I mean, that's what the show is. Anyway, by the way, HeyTechiesShow.com.
Yes, HeyTechiesShow.com.
And you can see the notes and get the show notes as we go along, and also you can see us if you want to. If you're listening on the radio,
you may not want to see us.
Oh, sure you do.
But also, you can listen to us after the fact.
That is correct.
Podcasts.
That's correct. You can listen if you want to catch up some older episodes, by all means.
That's how I catch up with the show when I'm gone, so I can hear what they say about me.
Sure. Oh, yeah, because it's a conscious stream of talking about you, Guru.
Yes,
that's
it is.
Your ears must be on fire.
Yeah, literally.
By the way, I didn't know if you know this, and surely you did. An ex-Apple engineer, by the way, was arrested on his way to China. They charged him with stealing companies' autonomous car secrets, according to an article from the WashingtonPost.com.
Okay. I hate that for the guy. I mean, to get arrested, but, I mean, if he's doing wrong, he's doing
During
wrong.
the weekend, the former Apple engineer was arrested by U.S. authorities at San Jose International Airport while preparing to board a flight to China. Charged with stealing proprietary information related to Apple's self-driving car project. So, they are still fooling with their car project, I guess. I just can't believe it. Anyway.
They just got money to burn.
At the time of the arrest, according to this article, he said he was working for a Chinese startup that is also developing autonomous vehicles.
So he worked for Apple.
Wait a minute.
Working for Apple, but also working for another company? Is that what you said?
I don't know. If I was him, I wouldn't have said much. That doesn't sound like a good defense. I mean, it sounds like that's probably what he was taking information. According to this.
So you're stealing secrets from the Chinese car company, allegedly.
No. From Apple.
Oh, and giving them to...
Well, I don't think we can go that far.
Okay.
That's being alleged.
Okay. Well,
alleged, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything that I can see in here where it says he's going to give it to anybody. It looks like to me they got him before that. From what
okay.
I think his name is Xiaolang Zhang, if I've got that pronounced right.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good to me. Probably better than what I would have done. I assure you.
It's probably Xiaolang.
Sure.
Like show me Xiaolang Zhang.
Show me.
Yeah, the X. I think it's a chi sound with the XI. I think that's right.
I think you're right.
Or I'm incorrect. Either way, I'm 50-50.
50-50.
According to the complaint, information about the project is a closely guarded secret that has never been publicly revealed. Oh, please. There's been rumors about Apple's car thing. Come on. How public does it have to be before we think they're doing one? Give me a break. Oh, yeah, Apple's big secret. It's going to be the new flying car. There you go. I mean, I don't know. It's like they're protecting the first Bible ever that we've never seen printed or something. I mean, God, what an ego. I'm sorry. The closely guarded secret that has never been publicly revealed. Oops, sorry. Oops, we revealed it. Oops.
Why'd you reveal it?
Well,
why are we whispering?
We're not really talking about what we're talking about. I mean,
okay.
We've arrested this guy, but he really didn't leak anything that really doesn't exist. But he did leak something that does exist, but we can't tell you that it exists. I mean, come on.
You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
That's how I feel right now.
Well.
Just saying.
Okay. Now, moving on. I don't know what, but moving on from that.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got about 4 minutes. I want to talk about SpaceX, but we need more time. I think
we can
4 minutes.
We can start it and dump it over into.
Well, make up this real quick. This will take just a quick minute or two. So Apple is ending its photo printing service after 16 years. And when you saw that earlier when we were prepping for the show or just talking, you're like, they had a printing service, and I'm like, well, they did. And I remember hearing about this in the past, but I never did use it. But some people did, and in the iPhoto app and the Photos app, you could actually order the prints directly through the app. Supposedly, I never did it, but if you're a fan of that service, they're getting out of that business. It apparently was launched in 2002. The photo prints product grew from just supporting simple prints to producing albums, calendars, and photo books. And apparently there's a message now if you try to do something in There's a spot about 9 to 5 Mac and instructs users Mac OS 10.13.6 to make their final purchase by September 30 of this year. So it's not closed yet. It's closing soon. Mac OS's Mojave photo app has already scrapped any mention of the service. The message also encourages users to download the Photo Project extension from the Mac App Store to get access to a range of third-party printing services. These services include Mimeo, Photos, Wix, Good Times, Whitewall, and Shutterfly. I've only heard of like one of those. But anyway, following the news, the shares of Shutterfly and Wix were up 2 and 3.1% respectively.
If it wasn't for Shutterfly, no one would know what I look like outside my house.
Oh, really?
Well, that's what my wife gets almost everything printed on, just about.
Well, I used to go like to the local, store that has the, printing and
yeah, but
a lot of them now, if they're chain stores, you can just send them online,
Yeah.
But I mean, to each his own. There's one friend of mine uses. I can't remember now what it is, but she showed me one time. It was relatively affordable, especially if you're doing a large, because of the volume discounts they offer. Like you're printing Christmas cards or, stuff like that, where you're printing a lot of those. But, yeah.
Yeah, Christmas card. That's what she does. That's what she usually gets.
Of course. You got to have your Christmas cards with your beach picture or whatever, family photo. Anyway.
By the way, are you a bug finder?
A bug finder?
Bug finder. I'm not talking about the little cockroach that runs around. I'm talking about
a bug.
Are you a computer bug finder? Would you be able to hunt down Microsoft bugs?
Oh, that's easy. Just use it for 5 minutes and you'll find something.
Now, well, they're saying white hat hackers can be rewarded. I think they're really talking about more than bugs. They're talking about
security vulnerabilities.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, United Airlines a couple years ago started that. Like they would reward you with their miles if you found vulnerabilities in their website.
This is $500 to $100,000.
Oh,
previously unreported flaws. Okay. They would have. I think most of them would have to have like the ability for a hijacker to attack. Like it says a Microsoft account or Azure Active Directory.
Azure
booting it up. Go get coffee.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of companies are starting to move this model because they're wanting to know about these.
Okay.
So they can address them, and, I mean, they're willing to put some money on the line.
So here's a list real quick.
Okay.
Let's see. Login, Windows.net, login, Microsoft Online, login.live.com, accounts.live.com, account, windowsazure.com, account activedirectory.windowsazure.com, credentials.activedirectory.windowsazure.com. All these sites are some of the sites they're concerned about. And they if you can get into those, then or find a bug or find a hole. Also, let's see, password reset.microsoftonline.com and portal.office.com. I bet some people didn't even know these existed.
I know about portal.office.com.
Yeah.
Office 365.
Right. So anyway. Well, look, our
dose
is almost here, and our Uno is in the books.
Yes. Went by quick.
And up next will be a news break. We shall return as soon as possible with our dose information to follow. Thank you so much for listening to Hey Techies Show. We'll be right back.
You've listened this long, so stick around for our dose.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. President Trump is raising eyebrows even as stock prices fell today. NPR's Jim Zarroli reports Trump directly addressed Fed policy, criticizing the central bank's decision to raise interest rates, an unusual move for a sitting president.
The president spoke in an interview with CNBC, portions of which were released ahead of its broadcast. Trump spoke about Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, saying, "I put a very good man in the Fed," but he said the recent series of interest rate hikes were hurting his attempts to keep the U.S. economy faring well.
I'm not thrilled. Because, we go up, and every time you go up, they want to raise rates again. And I am not happy about it.
Trump went on to stress he wouldn't interfere with Fed policy, saying, "I'm letting them do what they feel is best." It's very unusual for presidents to comment about Fed policy, but Trump said, "I couldn't care less." He went on, "I don't like all this work we're putting into the economy, and I see rates going up." Jim Zaroli, NPR News, New York.
Russian President Vladimir Putin is calling his first summit meeting with President Donald Trump a success, even if he's accusing the president's opponents in the U.S. of hampering any progress on matters the pair discussed. Putin, speaking to Russian diplomats today, also said he believes his meeting with Trump, widely criticized by some, is allowing the two countries to start the path to positive change. The White House today announced the possibility of another meeting between Trump and Putin in Washington this fall. Ryan Bounds, on the verge of confirmation to be a federal appeals court judge on the Ninth Circuit, has withdrawn his nomination. It comes amid allegations of racist writings. The Senate on a party-line vote today ended debate on the controversial nomination. NPR's Nina Totenberg reports the nomination is now dead.
Democrats have long criticized the Bounds nomination, citing his allegedly racist writing while an editor at the Stanford Review. None of that seemed to stick, however, until today. With the confirmation vote about to take place, Republican Senator Tim Scott informed Majority Leader Mitch McConnell that he would not be able to support the nomination. In a written statement, Scott said, "After talking with the nominee last night and meeting with him today, I had unanswered questions that led to me being unable to support him." With Republican Senator John McCain out fighting cancer, Republicans cannot afford to lose even one vote in the 50-49 Senate chamber. And today's events are the first sign that the Trump administration may no longer have the votes to push through its most controversial judicial nominees. Nina Totenberg, NPR News, Washington.
Giant Wells Fargo banks already admitted to charging customers tens of millions of dollars for products that in some cases they didn't even know they had. Everything from legal services to pet insurance to other add-ons. Now the San Francisco-based bank is in the process of paying those customers back, according to a report in the Wall Street Journal. On Wall Street today, the Dow is down 134 points. This is NPR.
Technologic.
Fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show Hour
Dose
coming at you, and
I turned off the wrong one. Sorry,
that's okay.
I don't know what I was. I don't know what I was doing.
That's fine.
I just need to go home.
Well, we will.
Oh. I'm messing up like crazy.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, the music's still playing, folks.
Well, we hope you are doing well this evening, because obviously
I'm not. I'm having some difficulties.
No, obviously we must really be.
Well, I mean,
what was in that water?
It's just water.
Okay, just checking.
I assure you, it's just water. No, but for those not obviously not in studios, nobody in here with us, but like we were sitting here talking, and like NPR, he's going, "This is NPR." I'm like, oh crap, I'm not ready to play it. I'm like, I barely pull it off. It's kind of threw me off kilter. So sorry.
That's all
I apologize. You never know what's going to happen on live radio, folks.
I missed some things earlier when we were talking about Netflix and stuff I should have thrown in there.
Throw it in now. Go ahead.
I'm going to have to. Do you know that Walmart, they're wanting to, they're according to an article from TechSpot, they're going to launch a streaming service.
They already had a streaming service.
Well,
or they partnered with like that Voodoo.
Well, this is a streaming service which they are saying is going to be brand named Voodoo.
Well, they had one called Voodoo,
that was where you bought a disc and you got a digital download. But now I think you could rent from it too.
Yeah, it was online.
But this
streaming.
one is going to be like $8 a month or no charge for ads during the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
So that's the theory.
Well,
that's the possibility.
Well, Hulu started with ads, and then you had the paid option. Can you still do Hulu with ads?
I guess.
I don't know. I don't know enough about Hulu, unfortunately.
I guess you can.
Interesting though. So okay, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So the company is said to be targeting customers in the middle of America rather than East and West Coast.
Well, I mean that typically that's
Which they're
that's
saying,
Walmart's bread and butter. You know, not to use a cliche term, but I mean that. You know, middle America, middle class.
Well, anyway,
that's their key market.
Anyway, I'm not. Yeah, I could see that, but
which a lot of those are Netflix subscribers. But
okay.
if you can come in lower or have a free option, with ads, yeah.
I don't know how well Voodoo is used. So the problem I have with this is, I mean, I understand you could save a product if you expand its service sometimes and that kind of thing, but.
Right.
But people are going to go like, well, I already know what Voodoo is. I mean, is it going to be hard to market this in a way? Because there's already I'm sure people have perceived notions about it.
And plus,
I mean, it'd be like trying to remarket New Coke.
Yeah, that turned out really well.
I mean,
anyway, what I was also thinking, not different than the branding piece, but we've become so accustomed now with these smart TVs.
Oh yeah, that's
that
another
have
thing.
A Netflix app. Some of them have an Amazon app. Some of them do not, but all of them have like a Netflix and a YouTube app. And you'd have to you would have to have some sort of another device that had that app, because not everybody has Apple TV. Not everybody has
I know
Roku,
right?
Or
and
like the Amazon Primes, the little not Prime, what's theirs called, the Fire Stick.
Now
they're not going to put it on there.
But it's a possibility they wouldn't. But however, it would depend on if they have an app, because they could update some of these devices you're talking about with a Walmart type app that would allow this added to it. So they could get a big swath of people. Of buyers in that arena,
but
possibly.
You would have to the manufacturers of these televisions would have to get on board with that.
Oh yeah, totally agree. This is a long shot, in my opinion. I would say this is not going to be as successful.
And I will say this, like with my smart TVs in my home, I have no idea what apps are on them. I just know because like the remote has like a Netflix and a YouTube button, so I've grown accustomed to those, and I do use those apps, but I don't go in and like see what apps are on there. I just really have not perused that. Now I may not be the typical consumer in that regard,
right?
But now
we talked about
but I agree it's a long shot. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. We talked about Microsoft earlier.
Of course,
and a little bit extensively, particularly the Surface and their new Surface Go, by the way. Apparently they have had solid fourth quarter, numbers. Apparently strong in Xbox and Surface numbers.
Well, they have good Surface devices.
It says that revenue was up 17% year over year to $30.1 billion.
Okay.
Now their server products, which is the cloud service, was up 23%.
You said server products. You said Surface earlier.
I was referring to Surface earlier.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct. Microsoft, what did I just say?
Something about server products.
I know I am, but this article did say in fastcompany.com, Surface devices and surging Xbox business. That's what they're leading it to. Okay. However, according to this also, that the server and cloud services, Azure, I'm sure.
Azure waiting.
Right. Was up 23% to $9.6 billion. And it was actually going to be expected at $9.09 billion, so they were above expected, which is what you always want to do.
Yeah, and I that's not surprising that their cloud services are increasing in revenue, because a lot of companies they're getting out of that business having to maintain the physical hardware, and they're just pushing it to the cloud. And if you're a Microsoft shop, I mean, that's an obvious route to go.
So gaming increased 39%. With Xbox software and services revenue growing 36%. The revenue.
So that's all the
so gaming, I guess, increased
like
39%, but
with subscription.
And then the Surface revenue increased 25%.
They have good Surface devices. Microsoft's hardware is solid
on this product.
Well, I'm saying like it's
no, I know what you're saying
in general terms.
Surprisingly,
when you say Surface, you're talking about the whole Surface line.
I got what you're saying. That's what I meant.
In broad terms, in general terms here, like Microsoft's PC hardware is solid.
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
No
doubt. Yeah. So anyway, that's a little more tidbit for that.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that
about their numbers. Let's see. In a negative note, but although I'm sure it would be spun a different way. Oh, let's see. I wanted to start the show off actually with Elon, but I decided to change my mind. Is that really? That doesn't sound right. I changed my mind. I talked myself out of doing that. But anyway, Tesla, the Model 3 orders have been canceled. It says 24% of Model 3 orders have been canceled.
Now, which one's the Model 3? Is that the inexpensive one?
Let's see. Let's see. No, that's not the one.
Model 3 says from 35,000. It's sort of inexpensive.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that would be correct. But this article's written, or I'm. But you can't. But I don't think you can get it.
Why were they canceled?
Well, that's a great question.
It's like people had ordered them, and they said, "Well, your order's canceled.
Yes.
Sorry."
Well, no. It looks like that people have canceled them.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Tesla has done this. I think people have canceled them. That's the way I read this.
Does it give reasons to why, other than they've canceled?
They say that the Model 3, about 1 in every 4 Model 3 orders is canceled. Doubled the rate from a year ago. Customers have to put down a refundable $1,000 deposit on the Model 3.
So they can get their money back. So they're not,
apparently.
There's no.
Then pay another $2,500 to choose their specific version. They pay the rest when the car is delivered, according to this.
Wait time,
Tesla,
4 months to a year.
Yeah.
And base model customers could wait until 2020.
Tesla's website currently lists wait times from 1 month to 9 months. I don't know.
But it does say here, this is a CNN Tech article. In an analyst note delivered to clients Thursday, some guy, Gil, who's this Gil guy? Anyway, some guy cited extended wait times for the car, the expiration of a $7,500 tax credit,
right,
and the fact that Tesla has not yet made the $35,000 base model car available for purchase yet. So that could be those orders canceling. People want the base model. I want that $35,000 for a car. I'm not willing to pay any more than that.
Right. For that car. Right.
So I can totally buy that, and that may have been 20% of their orders.
Well, maybe people just want their $1,000 back.
Well, I would get tired of waiting if I'd been waiting they claim like right now 1 to 9 months, but then I want this $35,000 base model and I got to wait till 2020. I mean, I hardly plan on what I'm doing a month from now, let alone 2020. Yeah, I'm gonna buy a car in a couple of years. Funny story. This is
20 years. Huh?
Well,
I'm gonna buy a car. I put $1,000 down. I'm getting it in 20 years.
I went with a family member the last few weeks. They were car shopping. They wanted me to come along and talking to the salesperson. They were like, "You will believe some people will come in and they'll start test driving cars and looking like, and you makes them think they're interested in, they're just wanting to evaluate different vehicles available, whatnot."
Sure.
And they said, "I'm gonna come back in a couple years and buy one." I mean, I'm not lying. That's what he told me. And I was like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Yep." I'm like, "I'm not gonna come test drive cars or look at cars unless I'm ready to buy one." I mean, what say you?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. I never really thought about it. I mean,
you may pull up to the car lot and kind of just do peruse.
I see what you're saying. I'm going to come back in 2 years and buy this car. It'll be 2 years old.
Like they go into the details of test driving and looking and asking questions and getting all this. I'll be back in 2 years. I'm serious. That guy said it's happened, and I believe him.
Oh, I'm sure it has.
But Tesla, you don't want to wait 2 years.
Well, I don't know.
Anyway. But I think
how many years can you wait?
I think most of the ones that are canceling the Model 3, they're waiting on that cheap one, that base model.
Well, yeah, I think that's
it's not cheap, but the lower the opening price for that.
Right. Yeah.
And they got tired of waiting.
Sure.
Musk, get it together, folks.
Yeah, just go shoot off a rocket. Hey, Techies Show.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The Little River Canyon National Preserve, located in Cherokee County, was created in 1992 by an act of the U.S. Congress and was dedicated as a unit of the National Park Service. The area's focal point is the Little River, which flows along Lookout Mountain and is an outdoor recreation destination. Small waterfalls, sandstone bluffs, trails, creeks, and streams draw visitors to the area.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
When a child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K in Alabama. Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
An Alabama legacy moment.
Birmingham native Erskine Hawkins was a prominent African-American trumpeter, bandleader, and composer during the big band era of the 1930s and 40s. His Erskine Hawkins Orchestra was a popular dance band in New York City, and with it he recorded the hit Tuxedo Junction, about a streetcar intersection on the Ensley-Fairfield line that was a center of nightlife for African Americans. Hawkins is a member of the Alabama Music and the Alabama Jazz Halls of Fame.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show.
I'm educating Michael on some of these awesome contemporary
Christian
hits.
Didn't. I just don't.
Well, I know.
Yeah, I missed. I didn't.
I will admit
some of them I don't know the new stuff.
Well, I will admit also that this is usually what I listen to in the car. So I'm listening.
Right.
And
that's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I like that.
So
we got to look in
during the break. We went to Tesla.com. Michael said, what we was talking about with the delays and stuff for the basic one, and I was like, I went in. You can schedule a test drive, which I thought was cool.
Sure.
I may have to do that for the show. But anyway,
California.
Well, I can't go to California.
I don't know where would be the nearest.
I don't know. But anyway, there's an order now, so I clicked on it just to see. Of course, I got to click on it. And the one you can order now in terms of the lowest price is for $49,000, and it says long range battery and premium interior included. You can also go as high as $64,000 if you want a dual motor all wheel drive with performance, whatever that is, instead of long range battery performance. But anyway, that's all like the long range battery and all that's in bold, but above it says standard battery available in 6 to 9 months.
6 to 9 months.
Yeah. But yeah, $49,000, and it says this one would deliver in 1 to 3 months. 49,000. Then it says, here's the thing. It says 38.9 after incentives and gas savings. Like, I don't know what incentives it's doing.
Yes, that they're talking about that credit.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
that tax credit.
I clicked on incentives, and that was like you could click on it, and it's 49,000 for the price. Destination and dock fee $1,000. Incentives $7,500. If I click on that, incentives as a link, does it? Well, it looks like it's a link. Well, it's not. Probably hear me clicking. It's not working. I mean, I move my mouse over. It's a link, but it doesn't do anything. Oh, over here it says electric vehicle incentives. Model 3 qualifies for $7,500 federal tax credit and other state-sponsored tax incentives and rebates. So you really don't get that off until you do your taxes. And it's a credit, so that does reduce your tax liability, correct?
I think so.
A deduction reduces your income. Yeah, credits actually, like after you calculate your taxes, they kind of bop it off. So yeah, I mean you get that back eventually. Contact your accountant or tax attorney or whatever. Gasoline. Here's the thing: gasoline savings $3,600. Which, you know, that's actualized.
That's an estimation.
Yeah, it is an estimation, but it's, you know, whatever.
I'm just saying it's an estimation.
Yeah, it is, but
it's going to be different for different people.
But back to the thing with the standard, you know, base model Tesla Model 3, you know, it doesn't. It says the battery will be available in 6 to 9 months. That don't mean you can get one in 6 to 9 months. Maybe now if everybody canceled their order, I don't know, but anyway.
Interesting.
Just curious. What you got? I see a car. If I can select my color, like, ooh, what color is that? Let's see, silver metallic. Yeah, it looks sharp. I love how the door handles are like flush with the rest of the body. That's like very sharp. Wheels. I can pick my wheels. Oh, the silver metallic's next to $1,000. Really? If you want pearl white, it's $1,500. So solid black is included. Are you serious, Tesla? Are you serious? So that $38,000 is for black. If you want another color, it's extra charge. It's like the, you know, Model T.
Mm-hmm.
You have any color but black, unless you want to pay more. Like some obsidian black metallics $1,000 more. There's a deep blue metallics $1,000 more. The pearl white multi-coat's $1,500, and the red multi-coat's $1,500. And they have some different wheel options, of course. You get the 19-inch wheels and pay more. Let's see. Premium interiors included. Ooh, look at that. It's like an iPad on the dash. That's
yes. Yeah.
That'd be so distracting. I'm sorry. I guess you get used to it. Anyway. Premium audio system. Tinted glass roof. Auto-dimming, power folding, heated side mirrors. Anyway, other stuff. What did I just spec out here? What's this? Enhanced autopilot. We talked about this on the show. $5,000 more to get enhanced autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
Full self-driving capability. You have to pay $3,000, and that requires the enhanced autopilot. So you have to put
$8,000.
Yeah, and here's the kicker: the enhanced autopilot or the full self-driving capability. If you decide to get that after the fact, instead of it being $3,000, it's $5,000 if added after delivery.
Yeah. Well, the enhanced autopilot's $6,000 after delivery.
So I just started putting this stuff in. So the $49,000 one, that's the base that you can get today, order today. And once you add, like, you know, the extra wheels and the red color, it costs more, and all the other jazz, $60,000. $60,000.
By the way, in case you're wondering, there's only one interior color.
Black. I like black interior.
Nah.
I love black
hot.
interior. Doesn't show dirt.
Too hot in Alabama. Ooh.
I wonder how good the air conditioner works in a Tesla. Anyway.
Probably good.
Anyway, we spent too much time on Tesla.
Oh, no, that was fun.
Let's talk about Elon Musk some more, shall we?
No.
Yes.
What do you want to talk about Elon for?
So if you're a SpaceX fan like myself, the next 2 weeks are going to be very exciting for SpaceX. And I'm trying to pull up my SpaceX app. I should have done this before, but of course I'm never prepared.
Oh, sure you
So
are.
bear with me, folks. So it's a bunch of missions coming up. And there's an article that talks about some of this stuff. We'll get into it in a minute. But like 22nd of July, they're launching a satellite, Telestar 19V, from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. Then on the 25th of July, just 3 days later, they're planning on launching Iridium 7 from Vandenberg. And then the 2nd of August, they're planning on launching Mirai Petith. It's an Indonesian satellite from Launch Complex 39A or SLC 40. So it's going to be from the East Coast. Then the 17th of August, 4 weeks out, they launch Telstar 18V. And then, on from there. But basically, this is an article from NASASpaceflight.com. SpaceX to attempt 5 recoveries in less than 2 weeks as fleet activity ramps up. So beginning the 22nd of July, just a couple days, SpaceX is currently scheduled to perform 3 Falcon 9 drone ship recoveries, a fairing recovery, and a Dragon recovery in less than 2 weeks. Excuse me. A total of 5 recoveries in short succession paves the way for an unprecedented amount of activity from SpaceX's fleet of recovery vessels. They've got the 2 drone ships.
Right.
And they've got, of course, there's other ships that support the drone ships. Like it mentioned in this article, like those drone ships, they're not, when they're taken out to sea, they're actually, a tugboat takes them out to sea because they're just designed to do station keeping and maintain their spot autonomously. So they don't have enough propulsion to go all the way out on their own power. Plus it mentions there's a support ship along with the others. So there's a small fleet to support just a drone ship. And then, of course, ships to support the recovery of the Dragon that's coming back from the space station. And then on the West Coast, they've been working with fairing recoveries. The fairing, for those of you who are not up to speed on this, if you've seen the top of like the SpaceX rocket, there's like a cone-shaped kind of thing, and the payload, the satellite, is inside of there. But when it's launched and going through the atmosphere, that fairing basically protects the payload from all the
heat and everything else,
and forces, aerodynamic forces and stuff. So once it gets high enough up where there's very little atmosphere left, the fairings break away.
Sure.
And they've been trying to work on a way with these big nets on a ship to try to catch those fairing. It splits in half.
Right. Exactly.
So they want to catch those so they can refurbish them and reuse them because they're very expensive. Somebody said they're over $1 million for those fairings because they're like carbon fiber or composite, and all that. So they're doing that, and all that good stuff. So this goes into a lot of details about that. Apparently, they're also building another drone ship on the East Coast.
Okay,
you mentioned that too. I didn't know that. So, and that's because as they do Falcon Heavy, it has 3 boosters, and they need more drone ship capacity to be able to recover those boosters, obviously. So anyway, it's an interesting article, but a lot of activity from SpaceX is about to ramp up. They've been kind of quiet the last month or so. They haven't been doing a lot, but now they're about to start getting busy again. So Elon Musk he needs a payday.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was that.
Hey, while we were out
last
week, Apple released iOS 11 4.1.
11.4.1.
11.4.1.1.1.0.2. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember this, but this is the one that was supposed to have the block the passcode cracking tools used by police.
Yeah, I read about that. Is there more than just that?
Well, I don't know. I did read another article, which I don't have here. I did come across something where someone had said they had already figured a way around it. They're updated.
Really?
Yeah. They had already figured a way around their safeguards. So I don't know if they're going to have another update.
Huh.
Yeah, according to this article,
11.4.2.
and this was from The Verge, and I don't remember what day this is. Let's see. This says the 9th, so that would have been last week. If you go to Settings and check under Face ID or Touch ID and Passcode, you'll see a new toggle for USB accessories. By default, the switch is off. This means that once your iPhone or iPad has been locked for over an hour straight, iOS will no longer allow USB accessories to connect to the device. Shutting out cracking tools like, Gray Key is one of them that they would use. So it goes on to say, if you've got accessories that you want to continue working after your iPhone has been sitting locked for a while, you can toggle the option to remove the hour limit. So, but what is the thing to note on here? If you want the protection, then you should leave the toggle disabled. So it's a sort of confusing.
Oh, that ain't surprising from Apple. Just saying. So now, I'm confused.
You're confused.
Yes, that's very easy at this point, but that's okay.
Well, if you want to make it where after an hour you have to have a Touch ID or Face ID, then you flip that, you keep that toggle off. You're disabling the feature to bypass that. I know it's weird, but
yeah, I'm just not a Face ID fan. I've already said that before. In case you didn't know.
I understand that, but this would be with Face ID or
Touch. I know.
Or Touch ID.
You just said Face ID, so I thought I'd throw that in while we're talking about it.
Well, okay. So tell me your. I know I probably heard it before, but you'll have to remind me. What's your big?
I just think that the technology is not perfected for Face ID, and I just don't like that being the only way.
Do you use the Apple Hello? I'm sorry, jeez. Do you use the Microsoft Hello to open up?
Not this one in front of me, no.
Okay. Well, I guess you wouldn't, because you wouldn't. Yeah, you'd either have to have a Microsoft account or something like that.
That's true.
Anyway,
but
go ahead.
even if I had a Microsoft account on this device, I wouldn't use it. Anyway, what was I saying? I can't remember. But no, oh yeah, the Face ID.
Face ID.
I just think it's not mature enough technology. And I think the biometric piece of fingerprint is proven on Apple hardware and just proven in general. Granted, there's a slim chance it can be replicated. But the thing is, there's been too much out there publicized about people that are not even related can unlock each other's devices. I do not like that. Now, if you have like Face ID along with Touch ID and you can choose which one you want.
Well, yeah, but then.
So that's my big turnoff with the iPhone 10.
I understand. You don't like it
and
I'm
not going to be happy if
right.
the next round of iPhones you have no choice but Face ID. I will
Well, that is a theory.
I know it is.
Yeah.
And I will not like it. But the thing is, I've got to lock my device. I'm not going to leave my device unlocked.
Well, no.
What bothers me, too, with Face ID is this whole thing with the government, like police and whatnot, when they want to search your device. There's implication with Touch ID, that you can, if you enable that,
what
you can
well
you can give up your fingerprint,
right,
where a passcode you don't have to give it up.
Correct, right. Well, Face ID would be the same, unless I guess they'd have to would they have to force your eyes open?
I don't know, but I know with Touch ID, I can miss it multiple times. In a row, and now there's no way to unlock the thing but with my passcode.
Right,
you can't do that with Face ID.
Yeah, I wonder if you could do something. I got to find somebody that can test this for me. I want to know if they can open it with their eyes closed. You have to bat your eyes.
I don't know anybody that I can ask to do that. So
yeah, I know some people. I'll have to see.
Okay, yeah, find out and report back.
I'll have to see.
I just don't think it's ready for prime time, and I just don't see why Apple, they did that to try to be innovative. And I get that because they don't want to be copying Android again. And they have. I mean, I'll admit that. But I just think you should be given a choice. Don't tell me it takes up that much space in that device to have both. Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
You listening, Tim Cook? I hope you are. Give us a call. 256-782-5600.
You'd feel funny if that ring
if that lit up, I would turn white. Like I'd
but it would be a joke. Somebody would just be punking us, which would be fine too. I would probably take the call just to see what they would come up with.
Yeah, no one's listening to us. No one's calling us.
That's
anyway,
okay.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of Face ID.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Oh, is that right, Forrest?
That's all I got to say about that.
Okay.
I
guess you saw. I guess it was today. Let's see. 17. No, it wasn't today. Why is this? Why are these dates? These dates are weird. Was it today? Yesterday. Today's the 19th. So this would have been yesterday. Oh, let's see here, Guru. Did you know that Europe hit Alphabet, Google's parent, with an Android antitrust fine, $5 billion?
So is the EU?
Yes.
Well, they're always causing something. Yeah, GPDR last month. Now,
well, this is another.
Got to pay the bill somehow.
Yeah,
I'm being funny.
No, that's serious. This is another deal where they're hitting, and with this one, they're calling antitrust because they claim that Google, with the way they do Android, with the way they sell it, or rather, give it away, basically, to other companies to put on their phones, they make the company put their apps installed, the Google apps installed on the phone. Like, for instance, the same, bundle like all the search features, their browser, things like that.
Then all these handset manufacturers try to make it their own and end up messing it up.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, for instance,
Samsung.
Yeah.
Was that in unison?
Yeah. For instance, Samsung, you get their phone and you'll have two, what'd you call
Too much stuff on it.
Yeah. Man, I can't believe I can't think of this. I'm sorry about that.
They have their own launcher thing or whatever. Is that what it's called? I mean, I'm not up to
Bixby. Assistant. Personal assistant. Whatever they call it.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I can't think. I've had a brain cramp.
Because,
but
Google,
you'll have Google's personal assistant.
Google's not good enough, obviously.
Yeah, and then you'll have this other thing that Samsung has come up with. But here's the thing. Really, I'm trying to figure out who are they really protecting. I mean, look, you get a phone, you're getting an Android phone, it's Google. Wouldn't you expect Google apps to be?
And you wish you had an iPhone.
Well, that's fine and dandy.
I'm sorry, I'm being funny.
Well, there's a lot of iPhones out, but we're mostly talking about in other countries here.
Okay.
I mean, this is where this will affect, but I think it'll affect here too eventually, and that's the problem. But some are saying that it may not affect anyone because of that basically in America this may have no effect whatsoever. There's a theory that they may only change this for foreign phones. So for instance, in the EU and other places, if they end up having to bow to this to change it, because the EU is demanding that they change it. Basically, their software is the OS and that's it. No company has to put their products on there, which, I mean, I guess you could argue that, but I just don't. What I can't figure out, and I'm sorry, I refuse to understand the hurt party here. You don't have to use Chrome. You can install another browser from the App Store. And some on here are saying, well, why do you have to have the Google App Store? Why would you want another App Store is what I can't figure out. I've seen some of these other app stores, and in the Google App Store is bad enough, in my opinion. But why would you want the Samsung? I mean, I don't understand. Why would you want a different app store? I mean, you could take this to Apple too.
True, yeah.
Why would you want another app store?
No, I wouldn't.
I mean,
I don't know why you would.
But it's. I mean, I understand that they're saying, well, there's no options. Well, that's not true. There's plenty of apps. There's plenty of options.
Oh, yeah. If there's an app that you want that's not on the Apple App Store, then...
Well, but I'm talking about in Google.
Try to find one. That's first of all.
I'm talking about on the Google Store for the most part. I mean, at some point, there's an app of some type, that would be similar to something you're looking for. But I guess my point of bringing this whole article up, I just don't understand who the hurt parties are here. I mean, this is as I agree.
And the thing is, these third-party app stores, if there was such a thing, you had to be very careful. Again,
I totally agree.
Because I mean, even though Android, Google Play, they don't really thoroughly vet the apps like Apple, they do some scanning of the apps for malicious things. Things probably get past that, but that's another discussion. On the Apple side of the house, they thoroughly, for the most part, thoroughly check each app. There's some that snuck in, but you start introducing alternatives. You're going to kind of water down the experience, in my opinion.
Oh well, everybody who's heard this show knows that I lament the Google Store. I lament it on how they allow too many bogus things to get through.
Because no one's looking at it.
I mean,
it's not being looked at by a human.
It's gotten better, but it's still not great. I mean, to me, even one or two, and I know it's thousands and thousands, even millions. One or two getting through is, if they're real malicious, and I beat this in the ground. It's just ridiculous. There's no reason for it, but I don't see a good reason for it happening. But anyway, yeah, so they've gotten hit, and I've got couple of articles here, and they're posted in the show notes. One is what Europe's Google fine means for Android users. That was the one, and if you get time, you won't want to go to the Hey Techie show and link off of there, and you'll be able to read this. This is a pretty good article. I think it is from the New York Times, which is odd that I might say it's a pretty good article, but of course you're going to have to get through the advertisements, which it's by Brian Chin, by the way, and this one's actually today, and that's so. I guess he wrote an article based off of what happened yesterday. So interesting there, and so. I don't know. I still have. I just have a real problem. I have a problem with all this. Obviously.
Really?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Because it's just. I just don't understand what the big deal is. But anyway. Well, the Hey Techie Show has one more segment to go.
Man, it's gone by so fast.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey Techie Show. Be right back. Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show. Given our last segment here. By the way, Guru.
By the way.
I think we talked about before the show, and I'm thinking this is a link that you put out here. If you all are concerned about this, then that's fine. I totally understand. So we're just passing it along. Mashable.com says the FCC may soon charge you $225 to investigate your FCC complaint.
Yes, I did put that out there.
The FCC
I guess to
rules
prevent as many frivolous.
I'm thinking that's what it's about, too. I know people are going to take this and say, well, no, you're just keeping people from wanting to complain. And I know Bruce would be livid about this.
And the thing, I can sort of defend the government here, FCC, because when you file these formal complaints, they have an obligation to follow a procedure to investigate said complaint. I mean, they're required by statute, by regulation and whatnot to do that. And I guess the volume of them is such that they're expending a lot of resources.
I don't know.
I mean, that's how you can justify it. But granted, the government's supposed to serve the taxpayers. So,
I understand.
You know, it's a balancing act. I will say that too. So
let's see. Under current FCC rules, the Commission reviews and acts on consumer complaints. Under the new rules, these type of free-to-file information customer complaints would be forwarded to the telecommunications companies. If consumers are not satisfied with the outcome in dealing directly with the telecom company in question, the customer can come back to the FCC with a formal complaint. An existing commission legal process, one in which the FCC will review, that costs $225. Okay, so you can file a complaint, and what will happen is that your complaint will be sent to the company you're complaining about, and they will be given the opportunity to fix it.
Okay,
is what I'm gathering.
And I think that's only fair for the company to give them the opportunity.
If you're not happy about the fix, or you don't think they fixed it, then you can continue your complaint with the FCC, but it'll cost you $225 to file it.
Okay. Well, I do think it's fair for the companies to have a shot of trying to address whatever situation you may have.
Boy, I wonder, this does not say, let's see. Oh, no, yes, it does.
I wonder how many of these complaints in the past, some consumers decided not to even give the company a chance to make it right. I'm curious of numbers.
Well, let's just put it this way. Let's just give this as an example. Since they used the example, I can read it. I think it's ridiculous, but whatever. So, according to this, nearly 24 million comments now poured into the FCC after agency revealed its plans to roll back net neutrality. Now, we still have the internet. It hasn't burned up. But anyway, that's a whole other issue. So nearly 24 million comments, according to this article, based on that one issue. Not having anything to do with the company. But
wow, that's a lot of comments.
24 million.
Some very opinionated folks.
Yeah, but there's more. There's a lot more people in America than that.
Oh, I know.
And plus, we don't know how many of these are bots.
That's true.
I mean, and that's a whole other issue. But anyway, the Verge reports that two high-ranking Democrats on the Energy and Commerce Committee, of course, Senator Mike Dole and Senator Frank Pallone, have sent letters to FCC Chairman Ajit Pai voicing how they are deeply concerned about the proposed rule change. So anyway, the Washington the last thing, the Washington Post points out in talking with senior Democratic committee aides, while the $225 fee for the formal complaint process isn't new, the updated wording of the FCC rules in this measure does free the FCC of its current informal complaint responsibilities. What?
It says it's not new, so
that's what it says.
It's just always been here.
That's what they say. They don't say how it was They don't say how it was charged or whether it ever was.
You are fake news.
Yeah,
fake news.
I don't.
Moving on.
I don't know.
Fake news. Moving on. Not to cut you off, but let me get this in.
Cut me off.
So this is it's tech related because of e-commerce has kind of put them in this situation. But this is an article from the National Real Estate Investor. I know that's right on the top of our list of sources, but debt extension isn't likely to save Sears, experts say. Few believe there is a salvageable retail business left where Sears is concerned. So they, Sears, no doubt they're still having trouble. They had a June 4th filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission that said they have 2 additional years to pay back their lenders, including Sears CEO Eddie Lambert. I guess they owe him money too. The company's consolidated 3 loans, including 2 real estate loans, totaling $593 million, which are due next month. The new consolidated loan due date have been pushed out to July 20 of 2020. Sears also said it will receive an additional advance of $186 million, which means the total loan due in July 2020 will be $779 million. The loan is secured by 69 Sears-owned real estate properties. Anyway, it also says in here they had another bleak quarter. First quarter 2018, Sears posted a net loss of $424 million. Loss.
Yeah.
Same-store sales fell 11.9%, including a 9.5% drop in Kmart stores and 13.4% decline at Sears. They sold off, I'm trying to think if this is in here. I know they sold off the Craftsman brand.
Right.
They're having to sell some of these assets to get cash. And they partnered with Amazon about Kenmore, but they haven't sold Kenmore yet, I don't believe. But I mean, they're struggling.
Oh yeah,
and I hate that because I remember as a kid, like the Sears catalog, the Wish book, and going. I can remember as a child, like my mother and father would order us stuff, from the Sears catalog, and you would go to the store and pick it up. Kind of like today when you do e-commerce.
Oh yeah,
you do
but I mean
up.
that's all changed.
I know.
As you well know.
I know, but they just haven't been able to keep up with the times with e-commerce, and I'm afraid that I hate to say this, there's no hope for Sears, I think. And I hate that for them, and I hate for the folks that work for them currently or have worked for them in the past.
Right.
Or have lost their job because of this.
Sure.
But, and all of us have some, we talk about Amazon all the time and how we like Amazon Prime, and, I mean, Amazon just makes it too easy to buy stuff. and these retailers, these brick-and-mortar retailers are the victims. And I hate that because sometimes I like to just go to the mall and shop and just look around.
It's tougher to go to a mall now.
Yeah, it's getting very tough. It's getting very
tough to go watch a mall. Man.
I was in a mall recently, and it was just depressing to see the number of empty stores.
Yeah, it is.
And I hate that for the folks that own those properties and manage them because, I mean, they're sitting there. There's, store space that they aren't getting any revenue from. Anyway, I thought I wanted to mention that real quick. And also real quick, I'm just going to mention this, be in the show notes. Uber's next big thing is Lime scooters. They're investing in Alphabet, Uber, and Google Ventures invest $335 million in the scooter startup, Lime. So we talked about this before, those little Lime scooters and Lime bikes and whatnot. So you can read that in the show notes because we're almost out of time.
Really? Well, Lime scooters.
Oh, you want to talk about this now?
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of threw that out there, that little jab. You're like, oh, wait a minute.
Lime scooters.
It's those scooters use like an app to unlock and you pay for the
I've
use.
I've heard about them.
They had those in San Diego when I was there a while back. And they have the bikes too, a lot of these bike share things.
Correct, right. I know that's a big thing.
Like the Lime scooters, those are ones like they lock themselves, so like there's no like place to return it. You just when you get done, you lock it.
Yeah, that's supposedly, yes.
It's just they're just laying around everywhere. And now Alphabet, Uber, and Google Ventures have invested $335 million into this company.
Well, they can. I mean, it's like
they got all this cash just laying around. Like they the crack of the couch again. They pull out $300 million. And say, here you go.
Spend it wisely.
Yeah, we'll come check on you in a couple months. So there you go.
Lime scooters. So wait a minute. Now, but this is human powered, right?
I don't know.
Well, this one on this picture is not electric. That's a foot. I mean, that.
Well, it may be. It may be.
If that's electric, I wouldn't go very far.
I saw some scooters in San Diego. People were riding that were electric.
Well, I believe you.
I don't know. I don't know enough about them. Just saying.
Well, I'm trying to figure out the investment here. I mean,
they're probably getting some sort of stake in the company or something.
No, I get that.
I'm
just trying to figure out how this is going to work. I mean, I can see it in big cities, I guess.
Yeah, and that's where it's at. I mean, and Lime's confirmed Google's involved. I was trying to skim this article. I didn't really have enough prepared to talk about this.
Shoot, we got 60 seconds. Anyway, the only thing that bothers me, and I've said it before, is the sharing the road thing. This is very difficult in many areas. I know they're wanting to write new laws, but the problem is they're not changing the roads.
Yeah, part of it's infrastructure.
It's very difficult you're putting drivers in a very bad position.
It does, and I try my darndest to give any cyclist plenty of space, as much as I can.
Of course you do. You don't want to hit them.
Oh, I know that, but I try to, but it's hard, and I know people enjoy riding them, and for alternative transportation or for exercise or what have you.
Alternative.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying.
I know. You're not going very.
But yeah, you're right. You've got to do something with the infrastructure. You've got to work on that. But again, that costs money. That our government entities do not have.
Yeah, I know. Well, as I told you, man, we go right up to the minute here. The Hey Techie Show. You're going to get a full 2 hours of information. Well, look, from all of us to all of you, have a fabulous weekend.
The Hey Techies Show is produced by The Guru and co-produced by Mike Stedham. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of The Hey Techies Show. It's going to be great, maybe.